I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Slavi.
And Salty and Chip. Is that what the name's? Yeah.
This is a like a keychain thing or a thing that you...
It's a necklace, babe.
It's become one of my favorite picks.
I know, and I hate that you do that because I'm like, you're going to ruin the actual necklace. But it actually is not making marks on it like I thought.
Is that a cross?
It is a cross.
Shout out to the big homie.
Because it's not making marks on it, it's kind of endearing that you're using my necklace like that because then it makes it even more special.
I like the small little jazz picks.
Yeah.
This one is hard. It's a hard gauge.
Yeah.
But it's like...
We'll hold on to it good.
That's what I said. I can be gross too. Okay, this is RAMMSTEIN.
I thought you meant fun. Okay.
This is RAMMSTEIN. Ich will.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but we have the English translation, so let's do it. Let's go. Here we go.
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 Ich will. 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 Dass ihr mir vertraut. Ich will, dass ihr mir glaubt. Ich will eure Blicke spüren. Ich will jeden Herzschlag kontrollieren. Ich will eure Stimmen hören. Ich will die Ruhe stören. Ich will, dass ihr mich gut seht. Ich will, dass ihr mich versteht.
I like that.
Ich will eure Fantasie. Ich will eure Energie. Ich will eure Hände sehen. In Beifall und Vergehen. Versteht ihr mich? Seht ihr mich? Fühlt ihr mich? Hört ihr mich? Könnt ihr mich hören? Könnt ihr mich sehen? Könnt ihr mich fühlen? Ich verstehe euch nicht. Könnt ihr mich hören? Könnt ihr mich sehen? Könnt ihr mich fühlen? Ich verstehe euch nicht.
Can't go there with you, buddy.
What?
Wir wollen, dass ihr uns vertraut. Wir wollen, dass ihr uns alles glaubt. Wir wollen eure Hände sehen. Wir wollen in Beifall untergehen. Könnt ihr uns hören? Könnt ihr uns sehen? Könnt ihr uns fühlen? Wir verstehen euch. Könnt ihr uns hören? Könnt ihr uns sehen? Könnt ihr uns fühlen? Vielen, 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 vielen Dank. Dankeschön. Super.
Interesting ending. What was it about?
Well, you know, bands, they'll leave and then they'll come back for an encore. Or that it's the last song, I'm not sure. But this seems to be, I would assume that Du Hast would be like, all right, we're done for the night. So they'll do this, they'll leave, and then you'll go, ah, and then they'll come out for 2 more songs.
Yeah.
You'll see when we go to the show, inshallah. If you stop complaining.
About what?
Feeling unwell.
I can't help it. I've just been feeling sick lately.
All right, so what do you got?
He looked sad when they zoomed in on his face, huh?
Well, they're all sad.
Yeah, that was sad to see his sad face.
Well,
Like around the 4.5 minute mark or something like that when it kind of went in on his
Where?
face.
4.5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like you. I can't get it to that exact thing. And it's
Like at the very end?
yeah, like when everything was like slowing down. You notice this guy on the treadmill? I can't even take that seriously. What the fuck is that? Like,
I don't think it's supposed to take it to...
Look at him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's
436.
That guy on the treadmill is like...
435.
He's like a mad scientist or whatever. I guess that's a persona.
It's funny to me. It's his skinny legs walking.
Yeah, but a lot of them are sad.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, I don't know.
It was a candid moment.
It was, and you could just see it like.
Well, the song, it seems to be about the crowd.
Yeah.
Because there's a call and response. Can you
I
hear?
thought that was cool that they did that.
Can you hear me? We hear you. Can you see me? We see you. Can you feel me? We feel you. And then he says, I don't understand you. So it seems to be like the band's relationship to the crowd. So it's an interesting song to, leave the stage on.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting concept.
What?
Well, just, being in front of a whole crowd of people that large that came there to see you, but can they hear you? Like, they hear you, but can
Right.
they hear you?
Right. Can they really
Can they really hear what you're trying to
actually
communicate
say?
and what you
Yeah.
really mean and how you feel, and to be heard by so many people and loved in a sense by so many people and idolized? But like, I don't know, I think that sometimes that, I think we've talked about this before, that you can confuse idolatry and love,
Right.
and so
Well, idolatry is a form of dehumanization.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Because if the person's not God, they're a human.
yeah
And when you try to graduate them to a godlike status, then you lock them into failure because they're always going to disappoint you because they're not God. So lyrically, so ich will, I guess, means I want.
I want you to trust me.
So I want that you trust me. I want that you trust me. I want to feel your glances. I want to control every heartbeat.
And
That's what they do.
yeah.
If you play a heavy song, you control it by,
Yeah.
if you slow it down, you can slow it down. You have, I think a lot
This
of,
very song is back and forth, so they're controlling the responses there too.
I think a lot of like influential people struggle with that notion of being able to have that type of power. Like it's a exploration of being able to control large masses of people with very minimal effort. I mean, it's like, at the end the guy was doing this and then the crowd like increased their clapping just because he did that. So it must be, it's a very, very strange...
Some people can just do that. My uncle was like that.
Yeah.
Just worked the crowd. My dad's like, it was just unbelievable. Like, the crowd just...
What do you mean, was he a musician?
Yeah, he was in a band.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of it's a very interesting concept where people have like the ability to influence people to that degree.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's major. Mm-hmm. Very, very major. So...
Pretty sure that's why he stopped being in the band, like one of the reasons.
Really?
Because, he became a Christian, and then the church was like really like, oh...
Yeah.
You're right. People are worshiping.
But then he's saying, I don't understand you.
Yeah.
There is like that disconnect between the worshipped and the worshiper in the sense of like as a human, because it must be like, I don't understand why you're like this.
Yeah.
Like, even we're not celebrities, but like even people like the way they react to us sometimes. It's like, I don't understand, like, what the hell? Like, we're just regular people,
Yeah.
So I can imagine being an actual celebrity and like it'd be mind-boggling.
I wouldn't like it.
It'd be mind-boggling, That's why it's important to have friends.
Yeah.
In the middle of all this stuff. Yeah. Like we had, I had a friend in the channel. We had a disagreement yesterday.
Yeah.
And I reached out to him. I said, as far as my heart goes, we're good. Because I didn't want to assume that. But like he's one of my guys. I play, whatever with him, and it, so it's like we had a little bit of a whatever. But it's like important to have like
oh yeah
real.
Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, okay.
Real human connections with people because
Yep. Yep.
It otherwise it gets very strange.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay,
yeah,
I got
yeah.
or have some friends, like it's important. It's important. But I wonder, like these guys, like, can you even have friends? Like prior to, I guess, like prior to being famous, you could. But like after, there's always that thing in the back of your head. It was like, if I wasn't in RAMMSTEIN, would this person be my friend?
Yeah, even the people from before. I think you're going to lose some of those actual friendships because people are going to resent you or want from you, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think it's pretty hard for people to not like be so selfish and think about themselves. How can they gain off that relationship?
Well, yeah. But it's interesting because in the next refrain it says, "Can you hear us? We hear you. Can you see us? We see you. Can we feel you? Can you feel us? We feel you." Then they say, "We don't understand you," because it's true. They don't understand him. He doesn't understand them, and they don't really. But they think they know them.
Yeah.
Because especially in like music, like you share so much of yourself that people really believe that they know you.
I mean, there is an extent to which they know you because they're like, I think that if I like a certain type of music, it's because it resonates within my soul, and they're creating that type of music. So there is that sort of,
yes,
but that's it. They don't really know each other.
What do you mean?
They don't really know each other. It's not like they know. I don't know. Is his name RAMMSTEIN, or is that the name of the band?
I don't know.
Whatever. They don't really know each other. He doesn't really know the people in the crowd. You can know a general thing about them.
Right.
Or what they put out on social media, but that doesn't mean that's actually, the raw. They're not going to put all their real self out there.
Right.
I mean.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, to what degree can anybody really know a person?
Even somebody that you spend, face-to-face time with, it's hard to, really know a person. There has to be a lot of trust and vulnerability and transparency for two people to really know each other. And it's rare. It's rare in a fallen world.
I've never been in a situation where I remember one time I had this very strange realization. I didn't know what it's like one of the top 3 or 4 most important moments of my life. One moment of my life was when I realized that I was conscious of myself. It was when I realized that I existed as this objective reality inside of objective reality. I don't know. I forgot the age I was in, but it was an extremely terrifying experience. So that was one. But another
terrifying to me, but it wasn't terrifying to me.
Yeah, I've never.
You know what? It made me feel better than everybody else because I figured nobody else is thinking like that. I was like, whoa, I exist in this moment.
Yeah.
In this space.
Yeah.
In this time.
I was extremely.
It just happens to bump into the existence of other people.
I was extremely terrified. It was a very, very scary
Yeah,
experience.
why is it scary?
I don't know. And it was interesting. The only person I've ever heard describe it as like anything like remotely scary was Carl Jung. I watched this like archived interview of him, and he was talking about walking to school where he realized that
Is he very smart? I don't know who he is. What, is he that atheist guy? Babe, I don't know who it is.
Carl Jung is the guy that Jordan Peterson
Yeah.
is a disciple of.
Okay. So
yeah, Jung is up there with Freud and them. Like, he's a very, very deep thinker.
maybe you have to be very intelligent to be fearful of the fact that you exist. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
I was like, fucking right.
But-
I exist.
You would. You absolutely would. Yeah, so there's that. And then, so there was that moment. But then there was this other moment that was extremely simplistic and just as significant. But as terrifying as my understanding of my existence was, as comforting as this moment was, which was, I realized that nobody knew me except for God. And that was extremely comforting to me. Because there is always that gap of like what you communicate, what you say, and what you mean. There's always a gap. Like even now when I'm saying it, like the full meaning of what I'm trying to say in my words is not communicating the full meaning of the concept of what.
Yeah.
And I just remember being so frustrated about that and trying to pray and then like hearing God say, you know, you don't have to have like perfect words with me because I know you. And I went, whoa.
Yeah.
That was a very, like, that was a very, very, very
Pivotal moment for you. I'm
significant moment for me in my life. And so like when you see this stuff and people are like, oh yeah, we feel you, we see you, we don't understand you. Like he's recognizing that, because I'm sure they get this a lot. Like, oh, I can completely really relate to you, man. I can completely relate to you. Like, no, you can't. And it's not bad. It's just that we can relate to each other in the general, but in the specifics of the soul of the person, no, you can't. You don't know.
Yeah.
Even if, like, oh, you know, I've been through that exact situation, like, you can't be that person in that situation and experience it as them.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's crazy to me, because without God, that was extremely lonely to me. That seems extremely lonely, but with God, it's the best thing in the world. Like, if you could really be convinced that there was somebody that knew what you actually meant with every word that you actually said,
You could finally relax.
you could relax, yeah. It's so funny because there's a lot of times that we get so misinterpreted
It's so
here.
funny because I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
A lot of times people will say, why should I pray if God already knows what I have to say?
Right.
But if you believed that, I think it would actually make you talk more. Like, if I fully thought that everything that I was going to say right now, like, you would totally get it, I probably would talk about a lot more things.
Right.
So, but why doesn't it work like that with God?
Well, I mean, it worked like that with me.
Well, what?
You haven't had that moment. You were too busy being proud of...
I exist!
yeah, you're too busy being proud of your own existence to... You were the worst. Get almighty.
Oh, you mean you're not going to tell me I'm going to hell? Man, those kids friggin' cooking with that garlic, man.
Yeah.
I feel sick. They've tried to make garlic bread.
I opened the door and I was like, what the hell?
I'm going to ban them from garlic for like...
I don't even
2
know
years.
why you thought that was a good idea to give them access to the garlic. Like, how
Because
could you
I
co-sign that
always
move?
friggin' think that they're going to be reasonable. I said, take bread, put the butter on it, and just shake a little bit of garlic powder over it. Just a little powder. Just a little sprinkle. And then put it in the oven under the broiler. And you'll have nice garlic bread, guys. They forgot the butter. And Dorian put so much freaking garlic in big lines. No shaking evenly or...
Did you say no shaking even?
No. Ugh, it smelled so bad.
That's disgusting! You're a Mormon! That's pretty nasty.
It's disgusting.
It's pretty nasty.
Ban them.
Yeah, so yeah, the song seems to be about, like, you know, being understood and as a musician and as a person.
Why do you think they were because it was the end of the show?
Yeah. They're saying goodbye. Salam
I
alaikum.
thought it was sad looking the way he looked.
Really?
All that performance and putting out, and then like when it zoomed down. Anyway.
Whoa, what do you think would make him sad about that, though?
I mean, that's a pretty sad topic, babe.
It's a sad topic?
Yeah, to be misunderstood, you know? To not
Well,
be
it's
understood.
funny because we get misunderstood so many times. Like, sometimes I'll see a comment and such. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's like literally the opposite of what I said. Like, Dirk sent me an email one time. He's like, yo, like, are these people listening to what you're saying? 'Cause it's like the literal opposite of.
I know.
But hearing someone, this is where I feel like the postmoderns are kind of like, right, like, there's the actual objective data that is, but then it's going through a funnel of your prejudices and your experiences and your, I know where you're going with this and da-da-da-da. It's like, no, you don't know where I'm going with it. Like, so many people, interpret things through so many different lenses that by the time the objective reality hits your brain and you start interpreting it, it comes back out a jumbled mess. Like, here's a relationship 101. If you're in a fight with your significant other, say to them, say back to me what I just said to you.
It's actually really effective.
It's very effective because it's a good gauge to figure out the telephone game and how it actually works.
We've been through that so many times. I'm actually now getting to the point, like just the other night, like I don't even remember now what we were discussing, but there was something that you were like, do you know what I'm saying? And then you were like, say back to me. But I had already been saying back to you in my own mind.
Right.
And so I said it back accurately that time.
It was perfect. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Because the whole time I was like, okay, what is he actually saying? Because I always want to get in my feelings. Like, I don't know why, but it's very comforting. It makes me very happy to get in my feelings.
I know.
To feel offended and hurt. I don't know why. But I'm like, okay, stop, like, trying to, like, go to that blanket and just think about what he's actually saying. What does he actually mean? Because sometimes somebody can say something that sounds pretty damn horrible. But then, if you know where they're coming from, what they're trying to communicate, and, believe the best of somebody. Don't be blind, but believe the best, If you know the person is not out to whatever, then you can kind of, I don't know, open your mind to a little bit more and hear what the person's actually saying,
But it's like, I do want you to yeah, so like this communication, this is a song about communication ultimately, I guess, and then loneliness and not being able to completely be understood. Do you feel lonely, or are you happy that only God knows you?
No, I want you to know me, like, fully. But you know what? I haven't really settled into the fact that God knows me fully. Like, I don't feel like He really does. It was weird because when I was talking to my daughter the other night, she was like,
going off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I was saying it, like, I could feel God's love for her in that moment, And so I felt like that Lord was saying, like, that's how I'm with you. But it just, sometimes it's just a little bit, I don't know.
What do you give the song?
I don't know. People are going to hate me. I don't feel good. And when I don't feel good, it's very hard for me to rate a song. 7.
It's a solid 8.3. A little bit repetitive, but I like the music. Very much like the music. And I think we'll always do live versions of RAMMSTEIN because they're such good showmen. And I love when the crowd gets involved in stuff, and they made a song like specifically for the crowd. So a good solid shiny 8.3. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Ich will die Ruhe. Ich will, dass ihr mich gut